Hello there, and how are you, my beautiful fellow human beings? Well, episode 4 of WandaVision came out this morning, and it was great. I freaking love this show. I cannot get enough of it. Every time it ends, I want another episode. I want to know what is happening. Where is this all leading? Whoops. It's so exciting. So right off the bat, I'll give a little quick spoiler-free take on the episode. So WandaVision episode 4, entitled "We Interrupt This Program." It's another great episode. This episode is definitely more grounded in reality than the previous 3 episodes. It's not an info dump, but there is a lot to process from this episode. We learn a lot more about what SWORD is. We learn tidbits of what is actually happening inside Wanda's reality. Definitely, if you haven't been watching WandaVision, go check this show out. It is really, really great. I absolutely love it. So that's my quick little spoiler-free take on episode 4. So let's jump into the fun part. Let's jump into the spoilery stuff. So we start out the episode, and Monica / Geraldine is doing the anti-dusting, I guess. She's reforming from dust. And we quickly learn that people are calling the effects of the snap the blip. So Monica had vanished in the blip, and she had vanished at her mother's bedside, which is Maria Rambeau, who you'll know from the Captain Marvel movie. And we soon find out that Maria has passed away from cancer, and that she passed away while Monica was vanished in the blip. So going further, we also learned that Maria Rambeau, Monica's mother, was the founder and former director of SWORD, which, if you've forgotten or you're catching up very quickly with the episodes, stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Department. So, and then we move further into the episode. Monica goes back to the SWORD building. From what I know, it's nothing we've ever seen before. She's talking to the current director, and things have changed at SWORD since the blip. And kind of what I'm getting from this is that they've probably gotten more money, are more active in the MCU universe. And so we move along. You know, one thing I'd like to say is that, it's really great how this WandaVision is, it has that MCU connectivity. And the way WandaVision is doing that is it's pulling in these small characters from different movies. So in this episode, we get Jimmy Woo, played by Randall Park, and we get Darcy Lewis from the Thor franchise, which I cannot be happier to have her back. Her comedic timing is just on point, and she's absolutely brilliant, and I love her. And so, okay, snap back. Monica gets sent on this liaison mission with the FBI looking for this missing person. And so she pulls up and you see the Westview sign. So we immediately know that they're investigating where Wanda's reality bubble is. And that's where she meets Jimmy Woo, who is now an FBI agent. And he is on the look for this person that was under witness protection, and they've gone missing. He had went to their family members, and they had never heard of them. So people on the outside of the bubble lose all memory of people on the inside of the bubble. So also, looking at the Westview sign, we can assume that it's an actual real place. It's not a place created inside Wanda's reality bubble or created for her reality bubble. It is an actual place with real people that live there. And so we move along in the episode, and Monica pulls out one of the sword drones and flies it into the barrier, and it just completely disappears. And then she walks up to it. She notices that there is a barrier, and she touches it, and her fingers do some weird pixelating type thing, and she pulls them back, and then she puts her hand in again, and she gets sucked in. So moving along, we finally get to see Darcy Lewis. And again, I gotta stress that I absolutely love her comedic timing, her snarkiness. It's, I really miss that from the first two movies of the Thor franchise. She was one of my favorite parts of the first two Thor movies. And I'm just super glad that she's back. It's awesome. So she figures out how to watch what is happening inside the Wanda reality bubble. I forget what they call them, CMBR waves. But there's this message lying underneath those waves, and she finds out that it's basically a TV signal. And she has the sword agents get her a an old school TV, not one that's flat. She specifies that it cannot be a newer flat screen TV. It has to be an old school one. Then so she's finally able to see what is happening on the inside, and she immediately recognizes Wanda and Vision. And a cool little moment, Darcy um, reminds us that Vision is dead, like dead, not blipped, but dead. And that's a good point for something that's coming up. And so then we have like this little montage scene where, they start figuring out that all of these people that are in the TV program that Wanda has created, they're all real people. And so if anybody's out there has watched Community, you'll know that in the background of Community, there was a whiteboard. And it always had little things written on it. And I always used to try to pause it and catch what was on the whiteboard in the background. And it was always a fun little thing to do. So there's a whiteboard in this episode that Jimmy Woo is writing on. And I paused it a couple times to try to figure out exactly what was written on it. So the main reason they're using this whiteboard is to find out who these missing people are. The first two people they identify is Mr. and Mrs. Hart from episode 1. Norm from episode 1, who was the co-worker of Vision's. Jones and Herb, who are other male figures in the community. Beverly was also identified. And then if you stop and look at it, you notice that they have Agatha on the whiteboard, but they do not have her identified. So as of yet, Agatha is a wild card, an unknown. And then I forget what the girl's name is. The girl in episode 2 that was like the queen bee. She's not on the screen, but also when they're doing this, they were in episode 2. Because one thing that they do find out is that they see the footage of Wanda finding the toy helicopter, which they with the help of Jimmy Woo, they determine was the drone that Monica Rambeau had sent into the reality bubble at the beginning of the episode. And then we get also a cool little scene where it like coincides with the radio scene 2, where Wanda hears Jimmy Woo through the radio. So we get the other side of that, which is really cool. this really cool connectivity throughout the episodes. And during that, at the end of that episode, they feel like they haven't done anything. They feel like it completely failed to make contact inside Wanda's reality bubble, and because things are glitching, they're not. Whenever these weird things happen inside the reality bubble, from the outside, it looks like someone's editing it, editing it. So it cuts out like the extremely awkward parts of it. So another cool part is that we see what will eventually become the beekeeper. So it's Agent Franklin, and he is actually dressed in a hazmat suit to go inside Wanda's reality bubble. And as he crosses the barrier of Wanda's reality bubble, his hazmat suit turns into a beekeeper suit. The tether that is attached to him turns into an old 70s jump rope. And when that rope is pulled back, on the other side of the barrier, it is still that old 70s jump rope. And then we'll also see later on that whenever Geraldine / Monica are expelled from Wanda's reality bubble, we'll see that she's still wearing the clothes that she was wearing inside the bubble. So all the physical changes that happen inside of Wanda's reality bubble stay as they leave the reality bubble. And I believe that is going to be an important part coming up into these final 5 episodes. Because basically, anything that happens inside of the bubble is going to stay that way outside the bubble, I think, at least. That's another reason why I really love this show, is because, I think I can think anything about what's happening in this show and in the same breath think that what I'm thinking is entirely wrong. It's just really cool. So yeah, okay. So when we see Geraldine / Monica get expelled from Wanda's reality bubble, we get this cool part of this series is that whenever it transforms into reality, like the end of episode 1 and 2, and then the end of episode 3, when it's showing the reality, it drops down to that larger what's it called, the television view, like the IMAX ratio. The ratio of the screen changes from the old sitcom ratio, which is basically a square, to the more elongated ratio of like IMAX or flat screen TV. So we get this, like, what is actually happening. This is reality. What's happening? Wanda sparks up her her powers, her reality stone powers, those red waves in her hands, and she's doing her little finger motion, and I really love that. Just like how exactly she gets that stuff going with her fingers. And she tells Geraldine that she doesn't know her, she's not a friend, and she's trespassing. So Wanda really sees this reality bubble as hers, and she is going to protect it. And so she expels Geraldine slash Monica out of her reality bubble. And then we get, the scene from the end of the last episode where Vision walks in and asks Wanda where Geraldine is at. And Wanda, same thing, she had to rush home. But this time, whenever Wanda turns around and looks at Vision, Vision, Wanda sees Vision dead, like dead. He has a chunk out of his forehead where the Mind Stone used to be. There's no color to his body. His eyes are milked over with no color, and it's really creepy and it's really cool. But then in a blink, he's back to his colorful self. They each grab a baby and they sit on the couch. And I have to go back for a moment, something I missed. Earlier in the episode where Darcy Lewis is watching one of the episodes, it's a really cool scene. It has some funny parts in it. Her and Jimmy Woo are sitting there watching it. You know, they're like, oh gosh, I can't believe Wanda had twins. And then it gets to the part they're like, oh wait, did Geraldine just say Ultron? Has anybody talked about like the real world in this sitcom reality? And Darcy's like, no, so this is all new. And then when when her and Geraldine are starting to go at it, things start getting weird, and Wanda is, just like in that episode, Wanda is getting more serious and more serious. And Darcy makes a comment like, oh, well, this isn't like it normally is. It's not all lighthearted sitcom. This feels really real. Sorry. So she's like, this feels really real. What's going on here? And then just like during the radio scene where things seem to kind of like cut, that's what it does there also. It just kind of cuts to the very end where Vision and Wanda are sitting on the couch. And sorry about jumping around, but then that's what you see at the very end of the episode where Wanda and Vision are sitting on the couch. So that is all of my notes. So I would like to go back to the whiteboard. The whiteboard in the background. I want to see something here. Let's see if I can look it up. All right. Okay. It does look like there's definitely some articles. Huh. No pictures of it yet, though. All right. Let's look at one of the articles here. Hmm. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. There we go. Okay. WandaVision, all of Jimmy Woo's questions answered. This is on Screen Rant. WandaVision episode 4 included Jimmy Woo writing a list of questions on a whiteboard. Here's what we know about each answer. So, why hexagonal shape? So, Jimmy Woo's first WandaVision question is immediately the most difficult one to answer. The continued use of the hexagon symbol throughout the early episodes is something viewers already started to pick up on, but the meaning of it has not been confirmed. Episode 4 added another wrinkle to this mystery too, as it revealed the energy field surrounding Westview is also the six-sided shape. Sword used various scans to try and determine the significance of the hexagon, but they've come up short so far. So yeah, of course they didn't. So why sitcoms was another question on there. So Jimmy Woo's second question wonders why WandaVision is being pretended to them as a sitcom. The show itself has yet to provide a good explanation for this, but Darcy notes that it can't be just for her enjoyment or that of the audience. Those involved with WandaVision have teased there is a reason for the sitcoms and that the answer will come at a later date. But until the truth is revealed, the best answer for the sitcom styling is tied to the perfect reality Wanda is living in. And I think that's mainly it. So, same time and space is another question on the whiteboard. The time and space that WandaVision takes place in is something that the show has started to reveal. Yes, the events have already copied the look of sitcoms for the 1950s, 1960s, and the 1970s, but that isn't when it appears to take place. WandaVision episode 4 confirms that the only a day or two have passed between when Monica Rambeau first entered Westview and Scarlet Witch threw her out. Monica didn't age significantly during the time, despite appearing in multiple eras of sitcoms. So it does appear that time runs at a similar pace in Westview as it does outside. As for the space that WandaVision events happen in, there are two main explanations at this point. The energy field around Westview is either shielding those on the outside from seeing what happens inside, or those who enter are transported to another reality space, a pocket dimension. So Sword can't get any readings as to what is happening beyond the energy field, which could point to the first explanation being the right one. It's also possible Westview acts as a doorway to another dimension or reality, and that could be one way for the show to set up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Perhaps it even purposefully sits on a secret portal of the universal neural teleportation network, and is teleporting those who enter to another point in space and or time. So, is Vision alive? And I think this is one of the most interesting questions on the whiteboard. And the easiest one of Jimmy Woo's questions to answer should be whether or not Vision is alive. He was killed twice at the end of Avengers Infinity. Oh, spoilers if you haven't seen Infinity War. Yeah, right. Everybody's seen Infinity War, right? Once by Scarlet Witch and then again by Thanos. The MCU has yet to reveal what happened to Vision's body after Avengers Infinity War, but Bettany has teased that all will be revealed by the end of WandaVision. At this point, there is no sign that Vision truly is back alive, though. Sword has no knowledge that would indicate this synthezoid is back alive. The expected explanation for Vision's role in WandaVision is that he is still alive as part of the altered reality he and Wanda are in. This is further hinted to be the case in episode 4 when Scarlet Witch sees him as the colorless version of himself with a hole in his head where the Mind Stone used to be. Unless Wanda managed to acquire Vision's body after Avengers Endgame, this version of the android isn't the real one that she fell in love with. Oh, it doesn't have the other things. Okay, so that was the questions that were under the list of what we don't know about Wanda's reality bubble. So there was another part that you could barely see. And the title of that part was Who's Behind This? And one of the answers was, looks like you could barely see it. It looks like it has an NS. And then parentheses, it has scrolls. And so with the tie-ins from, with Monica Rambeau being a big part of the series, her mom being Maria Rambeau, who fought alongside Captain Marvel and the Skrulls and the Kree, and I might have to watch Captain Marvel again, even though it's my least favorite Marvel movie, just to remember exactly what is happening there. And I am going to also be doing some research into the Skrulls, because one of the things that have been theorized that phase 4, 5, and 6 will all be leading up to is a Secret Wars phase, just like the Infinity War was, the first 3 phases. The next 3 phases would be Secret War. Which is pretty cool. Because that was a really popular run of Marvel Comics. I believe it actually even topped Civil War in popularity. I would have to research that, but some theories that I've seen, kind of floating around out there that there's some loose connections to Fantastic Four are minor at best. So I guess what it is that the beekeeper, Agent Franklin, being a tie-in to Franklin Richards, um, just is very, very loose to me, because if it was Franklin Richards, wouldn't it be Agent Richards? So I don't really see that. But what else? I mean, it was a really good episode. It was a really, really good episode. Um, man. Oh well. Oh, okay. So, what's some other news you guys want to hear? On some personal news, the family did get a new dog. So, our last dog um, did pass away from old age about almost a year ago. I think she passed away March of last year. Um, and it was kind of tough on us. So we waited a while before getting another dog. And we had been looking for another dog for probably about a month. And interestingly enough, the very first dog that we had put a application in for ended up getting adopted and then came back. And so now we have this guy. Um, Not a full blood anything. He is a rescue dog. One of my ultimatums for getting a dog is if it was male, we were going to name the dog Indiana. So I could repeatedly say, we named the dog Indiana. Yes, I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. But he is most likely an Australian cattle dog mixed with possibly some type of shepherd or border collie. He has a very high prey instinct, and he has um, herding instincts in him. That is really fun, and he can jump like. He can jump real high. So thinking about possibly getting him into some agility. So that's that. Let's see what else. There was some really cool news this week. Um, You know, might not know this, but I am a big Game of Thrones fan. Even though people do not like how Game of Thrones ended, um, there's nothing that I absolutely despise about it. I definitely don't think it was as good as um, a lot of the earlier season. And if you ask me, you can see um, the downgrade going from season 4, like season 4 on. It just starts getting worse and worse. So let's see here. Ooh, LA Times. Okay, so an animated Game of Thrones series is reportedly in works at HBO Max. An animated Game of Thrones series is coming. Maybe. According to the Hollywood Reporter, an animated spin-off based on author George R.R. Martin's novels is in the works at HBO Max. The project is reportedly still in the early stages of development. However, the deals have not been inked, meaning the concept could be scrapped before it has a chance to reach the small screen. Now, wait a minute. I need to go back to let's find this Hollywood Reporter episode. What was it from? THR, right? There we go. Because something caught me there. It said a Game of Thrones spinoff. And there was news last week also, or maybe the week before, that there was going to be a Duncan Egg series coming. And if the animated Game of Thrones is supposed to be a spinoff, then I would say almost 75% certainty that the animated series is going to be the Duncan Egg series, which I still can't get behind because not even the Duncan Egg novellas are completed. So it's like, why are you going to do that? The same thing with Game of Thrones. Okay, so here's the Hollywood Reporter. Game of Thrones animated drama eyed at HBO Max exclusive. Okay, so the next Game of Thrones chapter could be animated. An animated Game of Thrones drama is in the early stages of development at HBO Max. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter meetings with writers for the adult-leaning project, which would be similar in tone to HBO's Emmy-winning flagship, are already underway. No deals have been made, and there's still a possibility that the animated series never comes to fruition. Reps for HBO Max declined to comment. The animated idea is part of a larger strategy to expand the world of creator George R.R. Martin's fantasy drama. Sources say development executives at HBO, led by drama head Francisca Orsay and her group, are working directly with Martin on building out the sprawling Game of Thrones world. Martin remains under a rich overall deal with the cabler. The franchise's expansion starts with HBO's House of the Dragon, which I'm pumped for, the prequel that was picked up straight to series in October 2019. The drama starring Olivia Cook, Emma D'Arce, and Matt Smith will begin production in the spring. Other Game of Thrones ideas are also being kicked around for both the premium cable network and streaming sibling HBO Max, including a live action take on Martin's novella series Tales of Dunk and Egg for HBO proper. No deals are currently in place for Dunk and Egg either. So sources note that the expansion plans for Game of Thrones were in the works long before Disney announced plans for nearly a dozen Star Wars and another dozen or so Marvel TV series for its streamer Disney Plus. During its investor day in December, while HBO previously developed a number of other Game of Thrones prequels that did not move forward, the emergence of HBO Max has placed a greater importance on building out Martin's sprawling universe. All of HBO's original series wind up on the streamer the day after they air on the premium cable network. Ugh. So yeah, that's some pretty cool news. I don't know though. So I'm kind of torn on that because I didn't mind all of Game of Thrones, and then you also have to consider that the Game of Thrones series of books, more oftenly entitled "A Song of Ice and Fire" by George R.R. Martin, have yet to be completed. And then that's where the rub is that they haven't been completed. He's been working on the sixth book of the series for over 10 years, and he still hasn't released it. And so if you take that kind of math and add it up, it's and if it's only the two books that are left, A Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring, then you're looking at 2031 before the series is completed. So if you're going to do an animated series, are you going to delay it out until 2031? I don't know. I think that was one of the big problems with the Game of Thrones series, is that the writer had to step away. George R.R. Martin had to step away from writing the series, so he could work on finishing his version, the books. And the same thing goes with the Tales of Dunk and Egg. He's not finished with it. There's currently 3 novellas. I forget what they're all called, but from my understanding, there's 2 more novellas that he wants to write for him, and he hasn't finished the 6th book of A Song of Ice and Fire. So I know they're hurting for franchises at HBO Max, but you kind of got this thing called Zack Snyder's Justice League, and what are y'all doing? This is why I always come back to myself, asking myself, what in the world is HBO, Warner Brothers, AT&T, that whole conglomerate? What in the world are they doing? They need to get their ducks in a row, and they need to get their ducks in a row quickly, because HBO, look, Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out in a little over a month. We got like what, this Sunday is the 31st? Gosh, I don't even know. But Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out March 18th. And that thing, I mean, I don't want to just flat out say that it's going to be huge, but there is a high probability that it's going to be huge. And a lot of people are going to watch it and wonder what in the world was going on with that first movie that came out. But that's whatever. What else came out? I know what else came out. Okay, here we go. Boop-a-doo. Save this. Share this. Okay, from, I don't know if this was a Variety exclusive. Let's see here. But from Variety, they are saying Harry Potter TV series in early development at HBO Max. It's been updated since so a Harry Potter series is in very early development at HBO Max. Variety has learned from sources. So rumors that a show set within the wizarding world have persisted for some time. Now it seems those plans are moving ahead, though no writers or talent are currently attached to the project. Sources say conversations have taken place with multiple writers on the potential series. There's no word yet on what the focus of the show would be or what part of the Harry Potter timeline it would focus on should it move ahead. So that is definitely different from what I actually heard. So, and then we get a quote from Warner Bros. And HBO Max. There are no HBO Potters Harry. There are no Harry Potter series in development at the studio or on the streaming platform. Warner Brothers and HBO Max said in a statement to Variety, though multiple sources have confirmed that the project is in the very early stages. The Harry Potter book series is one of the most popular of all time, with the 7 books in the series having sold over 500 million copies worldwide. They were then adapted into a hit 8-film franchise, which has grossed nearly $8 billion worldwide. There has also been 2 films to date in the prequel spinoff Fantastic Beasts film series, with the third of 5 planned films due out in 2022. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So, so I'm glad that I read that it's not sure what timeline it's going to fit in to in the Harry Potter universe. What I had heard previously is that they were going to be remaking the book series into a TV series, which I think could have some benefits as an animated series. You can definitely have them look more their age, younger. They definitely looked a little bit older, because you want kids that can actually act. so they looked a little bit older than what they're supposed to be in the movies. But you know, I really enjoy the Harry Potter movies, and to remake them, I don't see what the point is. Um, it's almost like saying, well, we want to build onto this universe, so let's scrap the original Star Wars trilogy and let's do an animated version of that. It's like, no, like people would riot in the streets if Disney did that. Like they just would. That's it's facts, absolute facts right there. But so instead of like remaking things, it's the same thing with the Game of Thrones. Instead of remaking the Harry Potter series, instead of remaking A Song of Ice and Fire into animated series, why don't beef out that universe? When the prequel series trilogy, the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, um, didn't have as much popularity as they probably wanted it to. They made Clone Wars, and in my view, that made the prequel trilogy era era of Star Wars like 1,000 times better. So what they were doing there is they were beefing out the universe. They were expanding the universe. They were adding on to ideas from the movies. So that's what I think HBO Max should do with the HP and the A Song of Ice and Fire franchises. Don't redo things. We got enough people out there rebooting and rehashing old stories. Have you not been on the internet? Do you not see people complain about that? It gets old. Like, stop telling the same story in a different way. Unless you have a very good way of making it extremely better. And when it comes to the Harry Potter series, no, I don't think there's any way you can make it better. What, you're going to add Peeves? Like, guess what? Make a Marauders animated series and add Peeves. It's easy. Now, when it comes to the Game of Thrones series, there are definitely some things that are missing in that. Like Lady Stoneheart. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't looked into or read the Song of Ice and Fire series, but Ned's wife, Catelyn, after she gets killed, after she gets her throat slit, she gets dumped into a river, and then Nymeria, which is Arya's direwolf, pulls her out, and then, oh crap, what's his Dardarian, one of the guys from the Brotherhood Without Banners, gives her the kiss of life and brings her back to death. And Catelyn Stark, aka Lady Stoneheart, is out there murdering Lannisters and anybody associated with the Red Wedding. That would be a good part to add to that animated series. There's a couple other things that I could think of that were missing in the Game of Thrones series that could be added to the animated series, but I just wait until the books are finished. I'm trying to think. I'm almost positive there was some other news that came out that was pretty interesting. Oh, oops. God, what are you doing? No. Sorry, radio silence. Oh, hello, Super Maniacs. Nice to have you here. I did already talk about WandaVision. If you had any questions about anything that any of my thoughts on WandaVision, I just drop it in the comments. I'll definitely chat about it. I'm just kind of talking about some random news that happened during the week, and I'm sitting here, thinking, what else happened this week? I talked about the animated Game of Thrones series, the animated Harry Potter series that have been supposedly discussed behind the scenes and are in early production. I wouldn't even call it production, but they're early discussions about trying to make something. But I'm talking about that, and I totally forgot. I think I might have hinted at it earlier about what happened today with Zack Snyder's Justice League, but we finally have a date. We have a couple posters. Let's see what this looks like. So yeah, there we go. That's the first image that Zach released today. Which is pretty cool. Justice League all crumbled. This was the coolest one. Although that he's doing it so meta. There we go. That's a little bit better. But there's been some cool memes come out comparing that last one of the Justice League flag next to the Death the Superman comic book, where the front was Superman's cape on a pole, and it's all beaten like that and torn, and very, very similar. It's very awesome. It's awesome stuff. But I really could have swore that there was something else big that came out this week. Well, tomorrow, I believe I will be coming out with a yeah. So I guess I'll wrap it up. I think Super done left us. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. So yeah, we'll end it. Darn, I really need a co-host for this. I know it's probably a bad time, Friday night. Who wants to stream with Sir Nerd Aloud on a Friday night? Well, who wants to stream with Sir Nerd Aloud? Because I'm still at 28 subscribers, which I still really don't get. But it is what it is. I'm going to continue doing these live streams, especially for WandaVision. Well, no, not especially for WandaVision. Every Friday night, 10:30. I don't care what else is going on. Everybody else streaming over on whatever. And I'm going to continue to do 10:30 on Friday nights. And I'll sit here and talk to myself if I have to, and I will. And I have fun doing it. Because you know what? I can answer my own questions. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. What? Who even said anything about crazy, man? You're ridiculous. Just go away. No. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to call it. So, a couple things to look out for from me would be, you know what? Go check out. I did a little project. I didn't put too much time into it. I did it rather quickly. Because I had this idea and I wanted to get it finished. And I do have very limited time to do this type of stuff. Edit videos. Friday night is a perfect time for me to live stream. So this is when I do it, and I'm going to continue doing it at this time, and I don't care what happens. But the edited videos, sometimes it's hard to get time to work on them. So sometimes they do come out sporadic. I really only have enough time to probably release one edited video a week. And my one edited video for this week was a Welcome to the Snyderverse fan trailer, I guess you could call it. I've never put one together, but I found it rather enjoyable to work on. It was really fun. I've always been interested in movies, and I never really knew much about cameras or anything. So, editing has always been kind of, something that I kind of had an interest in. Um, funnily enough, one of my favorite cult classic movies would be a movie by written and directed by Robert Meyer Burnett, who is a huge YouTuber, if you know him, called Free Enterprise, and it's about this guy who he's an editor, so I was kind of found inspiration from that movie, which is odd enough, but anyways, I ramble on. Um, so I made this welcome to the Snyderverse um, fan trailer. It has a copyright claim on it because of the music I used, but so here's the deal. So the music I used is called it's by a guy called Timothy Prophet, something like that. But he does cinematic versions of popular songs, and there was this cinematic version of "In the End" by oh, what the um wow. My mind just blanked. Lincoln Park. God damn. In the End by Lincoln Park, and it is the cinematic version is done by Tommy Prophet. Um, and it's this really, really good version of it. It's very melodramatic the and soft at the beginning, and then it goes into this very hard version. Um, it's very cinematic, and it's a really great piece of um, music. And so I I didn't want to use it because I did want it to be free of any type of claim, so other people could watch it and stuff. But there's Zach. One thing that Zach really does love is he loves symbology, and the fact that Chad Bennington, right? Chester Bennington. I knew there was something wrong with that. Not Chester Bennington. Um, he unfortunately, died of suicide. The same with Autumn, Zach's daughter. So there's this synergy in having that music with the trailer. Oh, hey Taylor, I was getting ready to end it. I was actually talking about the Welcome to the Snyderverse, that video that you actually commented on, and I appreciate that, sir. But I was kind of talking about um, how why I wanted to use the music in the end, even though that video does have a copyright claim on it because it is somebody else's music. It's music from Tommy Prophet, who does some really good cinematic versions of popular songs. And you know, I wanted to not have a copyright claim on it, but that that song just connects so well with everything that Zach has went through with the tragedy with his daughter, and Chester Bennington, who wrote the song, dying in the same way. There's this great connection there that I really thought that keeping that song was appropriate for that trailer. So yeah, it was really fun to work on. I've been thinking about trying to do another one. I've been thinking about trying to do one for a movie that doesn't exist, but that's going to be rather hard because I'm going to have to pull video clips from multiple movies to try to pull into one trailer to make it look like one movie, and that would be really tough. And then I'm also thinking about doing one for the Batfleck series. That's crossed my mind. Then I've thought about trying to do one that would be intersecting the X-Men into the Avengers MC universe. But I don't know. But anyways, that's all in the past. That's the Zack Snyder Welcome to the Snyderverse trailer that I did. I really had fun doing that. But in the future, I will be live every Friday night at 10:30 talking about WandaVision until it's over with. And then I'll start watching The Winter Soldier or whatever in between WandaVision and The Winter Soldier. I might start talking about his Dark Materials. I may start talking about some other things. The X-Men thing would be dope. That's cool. Okay. I'll probably work on that then. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing live talking about WandaVision once the Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts. I'm going to be talking about that because I really do think all of this stuff is going to connect a lot. And I mean, we're already seeing it with WandaVision. And it's going to be cool how everything leads into the future of Phase 4 and even Phase 5 and Phase 6 of the MCU. And, a cool thing is that, X-Men, I mean, you brought it up, Taylor. I think they're going to eventually be there. And I do possibly think that WandaVision is opening the door. I don't know how far they're opening the door for X-Men, but it might just be a little bit, but they unlocked it at least. They unlocked that door to the X-Men, I think, at least. But tomorrow I am going to watch the newest movie of simultaneous HBO Max drops and theater releases. This one is The Little Things, starring Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek. I'm going to watch that tomorrow, and then I'm going to begin editing my review for What's New Reviews. And that'll probably be out. Let's see, start on it tomorrow. Probably Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, thank you, Taylor, for popping in. I'd already stopped talking about WandaVision probably at the 40-minute mark. And my wife is wanting to come back inside, so I need to end the stream. I really do appreciate you stopping by, because most of the time I'm just sitting here talking to myself. So, oh wow, there's like 4 people up in here. Why is everybody coming over here now? I'm done. Okay, well, anyway, so to the 4 people that are watching now, next Friday I go live at 10:30. I'll be talking about episode 5 of WandaVision and see where this crazy road is taking us. It's going to be interesting, you know. I didn't really, I haven't been looking into any of the spoilers or anything, so you know, just a forewarning. I have heard that there are spoilers out there floating around on the internet. So if you're like me, I rarely even watch the promotions for the next episode. So I kind of just want to see it as it comes to me. So it's that much more enjoyable. So yeah, be careful out there on the internet, and I'll see you next Friday. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and always know where your towel is. Peace.